share public as well. Alright, we should be good to go. Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of Race Spec's PS4 Pacific Series. We're here with Tier 2 this time, and yes, I'm a new voice for this tier. Unfortunately, Smeggy cannot be with us, so myself, along with debut commentator Trikid, will be taking over comms for this round at what is a bit of a dark and gloomy Austria, actually. How are you doing, my friend?
Yes, I'm doing quite well, thank you. Yeah, it does look like a bit of a dark and gloomy scene today here in Spielberg. We'll have to wait and see if it does actually affect the conditions on track that much, but heading out for qualifying now, we'll see how they go. Yeah,
very important qualifying it is, being such a short lap. You're really going to have to capitalise on your lap, get the most out of it. Almost a sub-minute lap. It is the quickest lap on the calendar. So these guys are going to have to be on their best form to get up the top. Just riding on board with Dre, our championship leader. He won't be the first to start a lap, but I think we should ride on board because he is probably going to give us a good guide around the track. We might just commentate this lap as well. Coming through the final couple of corners. Your lap kind of starts before it actually starts. You can't run wide on the entry or the exit to the final corner at risk of being invalid, but up to turn 1, hard braking probably just after the 100, try and get the car turned in. Really awkward outside curve there, actually quite easy to lose it and quite easy to run wide. DRS up through what is technically turn 2 but isn't really a turn in these cars. Heavy braking at the hairpin, probably the best overtaking spot. We see Dre go a little bit deep there actually on the brakes. But with that DRS there, we'll probably see a few lunges in there during the race, trying to pick up a couple of cheeky little toes from drivers on outlaps. Every bit counts, I guess. Heavy braking into turn 5, which is probably another overtaking zone if you get a good run out of that hairpin. Now probably the most technical section on the track. This is where the time's going to be found and lost in qualifying. Takes that quite well. Can't run too wide on the entry or the exit once again. Connor will just set the first lap, but we'll stay on board with Dre as he comes through the final couple of corners now. I want to take this as quick as possible, but again, so careful to not invalidate that lap. Dre takes that nice and tidy, and it will be a clean lap to start off his account, and it will be the second quickest time to 1:03.8. So worth mentioning, Conrad's done a 1:03.4. That's a phenomenal first time, actually. That's a great banker lap. So good to ride on board with a lap with GeForce Dre, current championship leader. I've got 9 guys now setting laps so far. Fair mix of mediums and softs, which is good to see.
Yeah, obviously the 3, interesting track this one, only the 3 DRS zones, which is kind of the maximum we get on the calendar, but it's going to be crucial in qualifying today. Obviously there are still overtaking opportunities here, but not possibly as many in the tight middle sector, more towards sector 1 and sector 3 as we're going to be seeing most of the overtaking done. Probably sector 1 mainly at the end of 2 straights.
Yeah, 100%. With those 3 DRS zones being pretty much back to back and the lap being so short, half the track is under DRS, so you're really going to have to make the most of your opportunities. It will be at the end of those DRS zones that you're going to see most of the moves. So we'll have to keep an eye on the packs heading into there. That second sector, as mentioned, quite easy to get some dirty air from the guys in front. There's no real place to throw the nose in. The corners are probably a little bit too fast to really take a legitimate dive. So yes, we should see plenty of action on the DRS straights. Although the flip side to that is plenty of DRS change, which could make it hard for drivers to overtake if everyone in front of them's also got DRS. Just trying to flip through and find someone on a lap. Everyone seems to be on an in-lap or an out-lap pretty much. As I just jump on board with Banana.
Wide.
He's done well to hold that. Speaking of, he's just gone deep there. So, yeah, not quite getting that lap. Yeah, I think his teammate is the only other person on track. He's on a lap, so we're right on board with, geez, how do you say that? Him Edmund. We might call him Edmund. For ease's sake, in the other Renault. I might pull up the standings actually for the constructors. I had a quick look through the drivers. For the constructors, it is Mercedes leading them at the moment, ahead of Red Bull, ahead of Haas. They've got a bit of a buffer to Racing Point and Renault in P4 and P5. So Mercedes top of the field at the moment in the drivers. GeForce Dre is leading by 10 points over OP Magic, who is another 20 points ahead of Kuda in the Red Bull. So it looks like Mercedes is the team to beat. Currently only one of their drivers have set lap. Haras hasn't yet. That is quite a strong team actually, just looking at it. Dre and Haras, both very rapid drivers. But in terms of this qualifying so far, Conrad and Grim Reaper are 1 and 2 in the Williams, so great laps there from the pair of them. Just ahead of the Rock F1 in the Ferrari. It's good to see, look how close those times are, particularly from P2 to P7, only 2 tenths separating those 6 guys. That's the kind of stuff we'd like to see, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this track is going to be really tight, as I said before, shortest lap on the calendar, so the time qualifying here really is that crucial, and every corner can make a difference. Obviously, the current lap record here in real life was got through Bottas in Mercedes with a 102.9. I don't know if we'll quite see that getting beaten today, but who knows? We might get close.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see many 2s. Just a quick apologies, guys, on the stream as well. I have labelled it with the wrong tier. I'll just fix that up right now. I'm normally commentating the tier 4 guys, and I've written tier 4 like a total clown, so I'll just fix that up and hopefully we get that all sorted, so apologies for that quickly. Who haven't jumped on board with yet? Whoa, I've just jumped on board with Greedy, who's had a nice little spin into turn 1. We just saw the end of that there. So not great for the Ferrari. He's got some damage. He's going to have to come in again. Get a new wing and some fresh tyres. We should probably mention the strategy as well. Yeah, do you want to run us through what the options will be?
Main strategies today will be the soft to medium or the soft to hard, but I mean, in our previous race we did see a couple of hard soft, possibly even medium to soft, but yeah, most of the field probably going for the soft to medium and maybe a couple of soft to hard, so it should be a pretty straightforward strategy today, but we never know as well, safety car in the mix, we'll just wait and see. We obviously also don't know as a commentary team, what the weather is looking like for the race. We could see some rain with these clouds around, so we'll just wait and see what happens.
Yeah, mediums, hards, mediums, the softs sound like the ideal ones. I'm struggling to find someone on a lap here actually. I seem to be catching people either on in-laps or on out-laps. I think Jogbles might be on a lap, so we're right on board with him. He's on the mediums, so it's interesting to see guys still persisting with the mediums. The softs be a fair bit quicker, probably 6-7 tenths, even though the lap is so short. You see Kuda currently in P10 on the mediums, so if he stays there he'll start on those, but we should see a couple of other guys jump up, and I think he will probably put on a set of softs. Actually, I'll just put on the fitted tyres and he's on a set of softs, so he will improve in his time. A couple of guys probably want to save some softs for the race. A late safety car, having a fresh set of boots can really help you. It can make or break your race. So it is easy to get 4 lines. Who've you got?
Out of the last corner.
Oh, he was on an outlap, so he was just lining up his lap. He's going to have to go around the whole track again. So not ideal there for Ferrari. A bit of a spinella from the both of them actually. We saw Greedy spin on turn 1 actually, so looks like Mattia Binotto needs to fix up his instruction a bit because currently it's not working. It's not ideal for either Ferrari. Rock's actually qualified okay in P8 for now, but yes, you would rather keep it in a straight line I think. That would be the quickest way to go around the track. I'll jump on board with Binotto again. It looks like he's on a lap again. He's a couple of tenths down, but you can gain a little bit of time in the second sector. Third sector, sorry, if you can hook it up. We're right on board now. He's coming in the pits. Jeez, I'm really struggling to find a car on a lap at the moment. How about Grim Reaper?
It looks like it's just getting one now.
Good, alright. Yep, I might jump to him when Grim Reaper's done, because Grim Reaper's just ahead on track. Kudos wants to watch. He's going slow. Yeah, lots of these guys. Yeah, not sure.
Grim Reaper might go.
Yeah, I think he is. We'll stay on board. In the Williams, currently P7, you saw him and his teammate up in P1 and 2 as Ferras goes P1 with 103.2 ahead of F1 Hawk. So we haven't done a fantastic job at spotting these quick times as Grim Reaper invalidates. Nearly 2 tenths up, but they have some really, really fast times. 103.2, that is not slouchy at all.
Yeah, only 1/1000th of a second between P1 and P2. So that's really close to the top. But another thing I've just noticed, OP Magic down here in P19, second in the championship, but still hasn't set a time. So we'll have to wait and see here. If he gets out, 7 minutes left still, plenty of time left, but yeah, obviously hasn't set a time yet.
Yeah, he'll be wanting to get up there. Well, we see a Mercedes just getting out of the way of Blocky into the gravel there. Bottas's lawnmower and services, I think that was labelled on Google Maps. Mercedes kind of following in his footsteps. But yeah, it's important for OP Magic to get a decent quality if he wants to stay within touching distance of GeForce Dre, currently in P5. Yeah, OP really needs to get a lap together. It is so easy to invalidate, so he's obviously struggled with keeping it on the black stuff. Just jumping ball with Blocky crossing the line. He will improve marginally with space P7 just behind his teammate. We've got that looks like GeForce Dre just behind as well, or he's just invalidated as I've spotted him. So that's not great for Dre. For us to be on in lap. Keep Up PB is also in the hunt for the championship. P4 at the moment, he's down at P16 as well, so he's going to need to get a clean lap in. A 104 flat is still a reasonable lap, but you still won't want to be down there come the start of the race. So a couple of guys still have to put in some decent laps to put them where we'd expect them to be.
Yeah, only a half a second covering our top 10 here, so there's really not much in it, as Kuda just goes P1 there.
Good lap.
A little bit quicker with a still a 103.2, but yeah, just a little bit quicker on his time. Still might make the difference though, come the end of this session.
Yeah, 100%. That's a great lap there from Kuda, 103.2. That is no joke at all. Keep Up Kuda just invalidated his lap as well, so he's going to have to come in and put some more tyres on. Newton Smeggy, our OG commentator in Tier 2, he obviously knows this tier a lot better than we do. Says OP won't set a lap time until very late. He does that all the time, so looks like he performs well under pressure. And if you're going to need to pull a lap out at the last minute without one previously set, this is the place you kind of need to be on the game. So we'll have to see what OP can do. Obviously he wants to save tyres for the race. I've jumped on Bob's joggles again as well here, by the way, just coming through the second sector. 3.5 tenths up in his time, so this will launch him plenty of positions. That's the thing about this track as well. If you're up by 2 or 3 tenths, that's multiple positions. Just the track being so short, coming through the fast right-handers, keeping it on the track. Takes that quite nicely, possibly a little bit slow on entry in the final corner, but gets the power down nicely. It will be a 4.5 tenths improvement, which jumps him up to P9, so 103.6, that is a good lap. So well done there from Joggles, getting himself in the 10. That will bump his teammate Giacomo out for now, who has also just started a lap. Goes purple.
OP also starting his lap now. This will be crucial for him. Obviously, as I said, second in that championship, he'll really want to put it inside the top 5, I would think, if not on the front row.
Yeah, we'll jump on
as
board.
He actually looks like he goes purple in the first sector. Might have been next sequence.
No, I got a purple map as well. We know the game is fairly trigger happy with purple sectors sometimes, but I think we'd expect to see OP up the top. We'll stay on board with him because this should be a good lap. All runs a bit wide there, that'll cost him a couple of tenths perhaps. 44.3 to the second sector. To be honest, I have no idea where that would put him relative to the other guys, but we'll have to see at the end of the lap. It's been fairly tidy with the exception of running wide slightly there. He will get a second chance actually if he needs. Takes that very nicely actually, both those final 2 corners. Really nice line through there, he'll floor it up to the line. It's going to be a mid-3, it'll be P5 with a 103.3. So great lap there, just fractionally behind Ramsey and a tenth behind his teammate F1 Hawk in P2. P3, sorry, so both Red Bull and Haas looking strong, but OP Magic pulling a lap out of the bag right at the end, which is good to see. Smeggy knows what the go is here. We'll jump on board GeForce Dre just behind, he's a tenth off in his time, purple with the second sector apparently as well, so 1/10, that would put him right up in the P4 question as well, possibly even higher. Lots of entry curve there actually, coming to the final couple of corners. Can he keep it on track? Oh, just runs as wide as he possibly can there. It will be pole, so he's found a bucket load of time in that third sector there. It will be a 103.230, 4 hundredths ahead of Kuda, so phenomenal lap there from our championship leader. That's a banging time actually, a 103.2, absolutely phenomenal. Comment in the chat, Nick Man, great times, 100%. When the top 16 are all in the 103s, you know this tier is absolutely rapid. So great to see so many competitive lap times from all of our drivers. And yeah, it does show the importance of getting a tidy lap together, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this race is really going to be super close between, I mean, I would say the top 10, but just top 15 even at this stage. Like nearly the whole field within that 103 lap time. So we'll just wait and see what happens. Could go anywhere from here. You know, obviously still 2 minutes left. Don't rule out someone else taking that pole off G-Force Drag.
100%. There'll be time for pretty much everyone to get another lap in. Looks like Conrad might have just started the lap, so we'll stay on board with him. He's pretty much identical to his best time actually, so he's going to have to find some time in sector 2 and 3 to improve. Currently sitting at 103.4, which is a very competitive time. I think pole in the tier 3 race just then was a 103.3. It might have been 103.4 as well, so these guys are a step ahead as expected. But Conrad, we'll see what he can do on his, probably what's going to be his final lap. It's a little bit wide on the exit there actually, that might cost him a tiny bit of time. Yeah, he's 2 tenths down, so Conrad looks like he's backed off this lap. He might go again. He should have the tyre left to do that. Who have got on a lap? So Ramsey's just started a lap. I want to keep an eye on some of these quick blokes. We're right on board
just started a lap. So has Harax coming up to start a lap. So yeah, all those top guys. Oh, G-Force Drag.
That might be in the pit.
Or that might just be
yeah, I think I see a blue dot there.
Yep.
Yeah, so we'll stay on board with Ramsey and then we'll follow down to those guys behind. All those guys in the top 5, so they are worth keeping an eye on. But Ramsey does head that train in the Red Bull. So we'll have to see what he can pull out of the bag. 103.3 is a great time already, but if he can find another 10th, that could really make a difference. As he puts in a purple second sector, he's up on his time by half a tenth, so it will be an improvement. As Banana pops himself in P5, so that's a great lap from Banana there for 103.3. He's kind of flown under the radar a tiny bit, but it will be Ramsey next across the line. Nice wide entry, which is good, maximise that exit speed. He'll come up to the line and always lost a bit of time in sector 3 there. Teammate Kuda behind has been validated and Harass is still on the lap, so they're the 3 we were talking about before. Harass is half a tenth down, so he's going to have to put in a good third sector. He's got a bit of traffic in front, let's hope they get out of the way. Looks like they have. As Conrad goes quickest as a 103.1, that's incredible. Can we possibly see a 2? Surely not. As Curving takes us to go 4th, Harass goes 2nd. Jeez, these times are phenomenal.
We're honestly not far off a 102 here, but I'm not quite sure we'll see it. Only a couple left on a flying lap.
Yeah.
In fact, might be about it.
Yeah, Joggles has come to the final corner now. He might just about be the last one. He'll improve marginally, but stays P13. Anyone else on track? Banana's on track, but on a cooldown. So I think that'll do us. Jeez, what a crazy qualifying session. I mean, look at those
the race
times.
hasn't even started. How about
From
that?
pole to P13 is only half a second. Even P14 we stretch that too. That's just ridiculous. Almost the entire field has done a 103. So that's insane. These guys putting on a real show, and it's showing real promise to the race actually, with so many guys having such good pace. I mean, just look at those splits, it's insane.
Yeah, like as we said before, like nearly the whole field within the 103 time, sorry. Only Missy Griffin just missing out in P19, but look, this race is wide open for anyone within that top 5 or 6, I'd say, to really take control and move out the front. But yeah, we'll just wait and see. This is a very tight turn 1. See a couple of collisions, possibly even a safety car. But yeah, we'll just wait and see what happens.
Yeah, it's lining up to be a phenomenal one. It'll be a high pressure race, like one mistake can really drop you. But yes, lap 1 will be interesting. People are going to know the start is important. You won't necessarily want to be leading, having to tow the whole train along, but drivers will want to maximise their starts, make the most of their opportunities with such a competitive field around them. So as we just wait for people to retire in the pits, I've put up the gap to leader graphic up. That's quite incredible to look at, actually. But yeah, that will do us quali. If you'd like to run through the grid when the sprint comes up, then go for it.
Yeah, no worries. So Conrad up on pole, only 3 100s in front of the two Mercedes, starting on P2 and P3. Dre's joined by Texas on the second row in P4. Hawk and Kudo 5th and 6th. Banana Cake Pie and Ramsey on the 4th row, followed by OP, second in the championship and only 9th, so he'll definitely want to make some places up on the open lap. He's joined by Grim Reaper, Blocky Rex and Kickbutt Kiwi, both the Alpha Tauris 30th and 14th. The Rock down 15th with Chihim Edmund in 16th. And Greedy, Hawks and Misty rounds us off in P19. So, look, this is going to be an epic race, Bod Hod. We'll just see what happens, and obviously, yeah, not sure if it's going to be dry yet. There were some dark clouds around before. Might see some showers.
Yeah, judging by those times, it looks like they've got dry setups on, and there we go, it's nice and sunny. So It doesn't look like weather will play a part, or at least for the meantime. You never know with this game what could happen, but it looks like it is at least going to be dry for the first chunk of the race. Yeah, just going back to OP, I mean, you'd think being under 2 tenths off pole, that would be a good lap, but it's chucked in down in P8, P9 regions, so I mean, he's obviously got plenty of pace, but he's going to have to get a good start, so those top guys don't run away in the early parts of the race. Let's just wait for these guys to load up their setups. But yeah, turn 1, I think turn 3 as well will be just as interesting as turn 1. They're going to be hot spots, make sure we get a good view of that. I might watch the front if you want to keep an eye on the back, just so you can try and capture as much of the action as possible. Another thing we also haven't really talked about is penalties. Drivers, as much as they're going to have to push, they're going to have to be on their best behaviour to not rack up those warnings. Incredibly easy to do. So it really is a balancing act for these guys. But it'll be interesting to see what their approach is in the first couple of laps. We'll say another welcome to our viewers as well in stream. Arjun says hi. Hi to you as well from myself and TriKid. Looking forward to commentating this race. It's lined up to be fantastic.
Yeah, it's been a great race, guys. I mean, as you said before, Botthod, turn 1, turn 3 and turn 4, those are our really key overtaking spots here. But look, this first lap is really going to be interesting to see who can make up some places and make a move. Obviously, top 10 all starting on softs as they have to, but we do have Kickbutt Kiwi, Giacomo and Hawks starting for the mediums. No one opted for the hards. Pretty obvious, obviously, but well, we'll wait and see. This should play out to be a great race. Everyone in the chat, yeah.
Yeah, so we've got a couple of guys going the alternate. If they can stick with the train, then that could reap some nice rewards at the end. We'll have to see what they can do with those tyres. P11 and down will of course have fresh tyres, whereas the top 10 will have slightly worn tyres, probably around that 7-8-9% range. Out lap, hot lap, in lap. So we'll have to see whether the likes of Blocky and Joggles on those fresh softs can jump a couple of positions off the start. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on some of those guys as well. These guys just come around the final couple of corners. Field's fairly spread out. So it'll be a couple of moments before we get underway. And then we can, yeah, and watch the beginning of the race. I'm sure it's going to be an absolute cracker. Judging by that quali session, that's probably one of the more exciting qualifying sessions that I've seen. So I reckon this race is lined up to be a cracker. As they're just filling up their grid slots now, nice and colourful up the front, which is good to see. Probably a bit more colourful at the back though, with the red, yellow and orange cars. But let's see what they can do.
Yeah, so look, all lined up here on the grid. Green flags from the back. This should be a great run down to turn 1. Really key here as well. It's a good start. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and away we go. Take it away, Bot Hot.
We've got a quick outage for the lights. Actually, it looks like Harasta's got a slightly poor start. Or is that Dre? Our leaderboard's mucking up a little bit. Apparently Misty's in the lead. Oh, we've got a big spin in the middle there. That looks like F1 Hawk might have just gone around. He got collected by, I'm not sure who that was with him, maybe the McLaren, but That's caused a bit of chaos in the midfield there. Looks like the front guys have gotten away fairly clean, though Conrad has held on from harass. Curving Texas managed to jump Dre, but Arcade holding P5. Looks like Kuda's lost a few positions as well. In P10, he's got Grim Reaper and Blocky Race going side by side right in front. We're right on board with the Red Bull as Blocky's looking to capitalise on the start. He has to back out of it though. Grim Reaper very deep on the brakes. Although he does get a good run out of there, does Blocky. They're going to be side by side through this second sector, which is not necessarily going to be the easiest thing to do. But it looks like Grim is going to be able to squeeze Blocky wide. Goes to a bit of a switchback, but has to slot in. So most of the grid got off fairly well, with the exception of F1 Hawk. Do want to check if he's got a bit of damage there. I'll stay with this front train. Opium Magic's made up a couple of positions up to P9 as well, which is good. But it will be Conrad who leads from harass from curving, as we've got side by side down the main straight again.
Yeah, Hawk coming into the pits now, he does have damage on the left front end plate, so seems to be a collision with Hawks and Kuda in the midfield, just after turn 1. But Kuda seems to, oh no, Ledward's playing off a bit.
Yep.
Kuda has dropped back, I believe, 5 spots now, down to P11, so that's not great for our third place here in the championship at all.
No, definitely not ideal, particularly with his rival Opium Magic making up a couple more positions, now trying to get past his teammate, Kuda's teammate Ramsey. But the Red Bull is solid in defence there. Looks like the leaderboard's finally decided to sort itself out properly, which is good to see. Looks like the Ferraris having a bit of a scuffle down with the AlphaTauri of Giacomo up down the back as well. Misty tucked in nicely behind as well. We see F1 Hawk going on the hards, so that's far from ideal. You don't want to be on those hards too early. It looks like Curving Texas looks really racy up the front though. He's weaving a little bit behind harass. So Texas looks like he's got some good pace. Haven't mentioned him too much yet this stream, but he's shown he's got plenty of pace. Australia's at the quickest lap of the race so far. Blocky and Grim Reaper still going at it. This looks like a great little scuffle to start off the race. Looks like Grim's going to throw nose up the inside. Can he hold it? No, that's Joggles, sorry, my bad. Joggles goes up the inside. Camera angle wasn't fantastic there, so it is Joggles making up spots. So Grim Reaper's lost a few spots. He might lose another one to Kuda. They're going to go nearly 3 wide actually. Kuda's going to dive down the inside of all 3. Oh, that could have been disaster. Grim Reaper's forced that wide. Yeah, that might allow the Renault to have a look there, so that's not ideal. We've got yellows at the back. That looks like Giacomo has gone straight on at the chicane there, but we have to stay with this fight because this is heating up. Joggles comes out on top of the 4 of them, and Chill Edmund, I'll remember that one, has to settle down for P12. But yeah, in terms of the trains, looks like we've got a bit of a Conrad train and then a Joggles train just behind. So the pack's already kind of split into 2 groups there. So Joggles is going to be under pressure from the likes of Kuda and Reaver behind. Worth mentioning the medium runs as well. Keep Up Kiwi, the best win in P13. He's on the back of the Joggles train. So he's done okay. Hawks and then Giacomo not getting the best of starts on the other medium tyres. So none of those guys having particularly phenomenal starts, but you wouldn't expect that on the harder tyres. We might jump back up to the front though, because these top 3 are getting nice and close together.
Yeah, interesting to see. Hawk has gone onto those hards. Obviously he's a long way behind now. Whole pit stop behind the field, but...
Oh, we've got to move for the lead. Sorry to cut you off there, but Harass has dived down the inside. He's made contact with Conrad on the inside, and Conrad's forced out wide, and he spun it. Conrad's round.
In the fence.
Oh, he is in the fence, and he might have a little bit of damage there. Yeah, he's missing a right-hand end plate, so fairly aggressive defending there. Harass stuck it down the inside and kind of bumped Conrad off the track a little bit. Conrad's lost it in the gravels. He's dropped down to P8 already. He's going to have to make a pit stop. So our provisional race leader there, not having the best of times.
Yep.
Oh, we've got more disaster there. Looks like the Ferrari of the Rock. You're right, yeah. So not great there. A bit more Spinella action. Looks like he's escaped damage though from this point of view. Harass sets the fastest lap of the race, which Conrad won't be happy about. Conrad has to pit.
Yeah, into the pits. We'll see what he goes on to here. Only 5 laps through the race. He might be able to make it to the end on the hards, but we'll wait and see.
As Curving's gone through on Harass now as well, so Curving Texas jumping up a couple of positions from 4th to 1st now. He was helped a bit by Harass and Conrad having a bit of a battle there, but Curving Texas capitalising and now in P1 with Harass chasing him down again. G4 Australia is sort of there but thereabouts, not quite close enough to really get involved in the battle there. Looks like the Joggles train is also getting a bit of action too. We see Grim Reaper going down the inside. Around the outside. He's going to get squeezed out wide a little bit as well, but keeps it on the track. Grim Reaper looks like he's got some good pace after having Bit of a downfall in the first couple of laps, but he's going to have to settle behind Joggles again. So we're going to have to keep an eye on both these trains. They're both going to be fairly action-packed for the foreseeable future. So yeah, plenty to fight for still for these guys early on in the race.
Yeah, this will be interesting here coming up to turn 1. The two Mercedes teammates really close to each other. I wonder if there'll be any kind of team orders here. Dre possibly with the more pace than Harass, and obviously leading the championship. I'm not sure he'll be letting him through though, as Ramsey does make the move on Banana Cake Pie for P4. Puts it
got more yellows.
Or more yellows.
That was Cooter, I think. I think Cooter's just put off the side, possibly Edmund as well. We won't look at that yet because this is still. Was OP Magic Duck down the inside. He's made a bit of contact there. He's always lucky to save that. Has OP Magic. We've missed that little incident there. Sorry about that. But we've just got a lot of side-to-side action in the midfield here. Joggles and Reaper going at it once again. So plenty of racing going on here, which is what we want to see. Looks like we've got a massive gap now behind Grim Reaper, so the Joggles train has disbanded. So a couple of guys there struggling a bit. As OP and Ramsey going to go side by side through the penultimate corner, not a place you normally see guys going side by side. They're going to make a bit of contact as Ramsey kind of tries to throw the nose in the back there. That's going to let Blocky in a bit as well. Both in that DRS. He's going to settle back in. The hairpin might be a better option, but OP does have the better run, and he will get DRS of Banana Cake Pie, who has dropped off G4 Australia. Just going to quickly mention that as well. So those top three starting to bolt. The gap to Banana Cake Pie is now 2 seconds. So OP Magic, if he wants to get into that winning group at the moment, he's going to have to clear Banana as soon as possible and get a move on before the two Mercedes and Curbing tow each other away. As Joggles and Reaper swap once again. So you can see the benefit of the DRS here. And the fact that the front guy doesn't have it on the train. They're just swapping over every single straight. Grim Reaper's going to close the door a bit there, but Joggles has to settle behind. It's a fairly aggressive defending from the pair of them, but that looks like a potential race on battle. So I have to keep an eye on that fight as well.
Yeah, so obviously we've got this gap now between Rex and Reaper of about 4.5 seconds. So that front group has really pulled away, which will be key for obviously keeping position. I don't think it would mean too much for the top 4 or 5. But yeah, this is still super close. Obviously, Dre here getting onto the back of Harass on the straight. Will he make the move down into turn 3? Does get deep on the brakes. It's just cut him. Yep, no, he's got it done. But Harass might have a run. Doesn't look like he's got the DRS. Oh no, he does have the DRS, sorry, because Texas. But he's going to slot in behind. Yes, he does. He lets his teammate go through. Bit of a lock up there from Dre. Conrad with another penalty.
Yeah, behind OP Magic gets you on Banana as well. So important for those Mercedes to swap over quickly because Curbing Texas is 1.1 ahead of them now. So it's going to be important for Dre to get back to that DRS and tow the two Mercedes along, because the last thing you want is to see Kevin run away. If you're a Mercedes fan, it's Banana Cake Pie gets a bit loose in the exit there. But yeah, important for Dre to put in a good lap and make that swap worth it. That gap is right on the second. We might flip to him, see he's got DRS. He's missed it. He's missed it down the main straight, but he's in 9/10, so he should get it down the second straight. But now OP Magic clearing Banana. Mercedes is going to have to watch out behind them too, because that Haas of OP will be massively rapid. And he'll be towing Banana and Ramsey and Blocky along with him. So the Mercedes guys in that little swap there, they're going to have to look behind and ahead now.
Yeah, Reaper, just noticing, starting to close the gap a little bit, about half a second on the last lap from Rex, who doesn't seem to be able to make a move on Ramsey on the back of that DRS train. Just kind of stuck on the train, but definitely one to watch here is OP. He has got his sights set on that championship. He'll be moving towards the Mercedes duo with rapid pace. Although not long until our first pit stops for these soft runners. Probably around lap 13 to 15, so we'll wait to see when who comes in first and who tries the overcut, or vice versa the undercut.
Yeah, we should see these guys in the next couple of laps. It'll be interesting to see what teams like Mercedes do, whether they'll favour Dre and go for an undercut perhaps on Curbing Texas. Though in saying that, he's caught up right to the back of Curbing Texas, so Dre looking up, looking like he's going to make a move. It's not going to be a difficult one. Right on ball with Rash just behind, right down the inside there. Curving Texas is going to have to settle for the outside. Can he hold it there? He does hold it there. So these two not letting each other by. Dre nearly loses the rear end, and Curving Texas is going to maintain that P1 for now. But Dre looks incredibly racy. So Curving Texas is going to have to, get his defensive dictionary out. Make sure he's very, very solid in order to keep the two Mercedes behind. We've got more yellows. I wonder who that's for. Looks like possibly a Renault.
Yeah, it looks like a spin from Cheeky Edmund down at turn 3. He dropped in behind Giacomo now. Might be able to pick up the place back though, still within the DRS range. OP now within DRS range of Harass, so he is soon going to join this top 3 battle. We'll see if he can kind of make a move, possibly on Harass before the pit stops. Might not be able to though, only a couple of laps left, but definitely bridges that gap now to Banana King Pie. Yeah,
Harass is exposed here because he's lost DRS to his teammate. So OP Magic, now's the time to go. He's been closing massively, and he now has a somewhat defenseless Harass, now 1.5 behind Dre. So one Mercedes really pushing hard and looking towards making a move. The other one looking like he has to search his mirror slightly. We see Harass burning almost all of his ERS there. OP Magic has 90% to play with, so as Ramsey and Banana Cake Pie is behind going side by side. Banana Cake Pie is going to run Ramsey off a little bit there. Quite aggressive there from Banana Cake Pie, and that will cause Ramsey to lose out to Blocky as well. He's going to throw the nose in slightly there on Blocky, but fortunately backs out of that before disaster really happened. I did see the pit light on Harass's MFD. Not MFD. Yes, MFD. But he isn't going to pit there, so maybe Jeff's told him to pit, but he's not deciding to yet. As blocking Banana Cake Pie. Banana Cake Pie is the first one on the soft to pit, or by strategy at least. So we're just going to see if Banana Cake Pie can get somewhat of an undercut and get back in that top 5 battle.
Dre possibly making a move here for the lead, and he does. He goes up to P1, pretty easy to overtake on the first straight. Pulls in front of Curving Texas, but OP also just slotting in behind that second Mercedes for us. This is really heating up to be a good battle for the top 4 here. And we'll see out of this lot who does make the first pit stop, or if it's a multiple going in on the same lap. I highly doubt it though. Probably a bit of daying out, going in, copying your rival tactics here. So we'll wait and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, if they're happy enough with the position they're in, you might just follow your rival. But if you want to do something different, be brave, then you might see a lap or two difference in the pit stops. Just on board with Banana Cake Pie and Giacomo, Banana on the fresh hards, sorry. So Banana Cake Pie has chosen to go hards. Having a pit earlier, probably couldn't quite go on the mediums to the end yet, but he's now got a bit of traffic. He managed to clear him, but he's lost a little bit of time there. As we see, blocking Ramsey will be the next ones on the softs in. So top 4 happen to stay out for now. Looking like they're just going to follow each other around for a little bit longer. That will bring Reaper up to P5 provisionally. Joggle's right behind as well. Joggle's kind of gone about his business. You haven't mentioned him too much as a sports. He runs very wide there, actually, out to be a warning. He's got Kickbutt Kiwi right behind. So those two on the mediums, they're now starting to come into play as those softs start to die off. So Hawks and Kickbutt Kiwi, we're going to have to keep an eye on them.
Yeah, obviously, after the pit stops here, if we do happen to see a safety car or even a virtual safety car, this is really going to bring a lot of people into contention, such as Hawks or Kickbutt Kiwi, maybe a little bit further down, 10 laps time, making that move to softs. But yeah, the top 4 still all staying out. They're coming around towards the pits now. We'll see if any of them dive in. But I'm assuming that they're going to just keep going around from now. In fact, no, Texas does dive in, but the other 3 stay out, so we'll see how it goes here in terms of this pit stop.
Yep, speaking of the guys who pit last lap, we have Ramsey's put on the mediums. The Rock's put on more softs, which is interesting, so he's 2-stopping it. And then Blocky put on mediums as well, so it's going to be a stretch for those mediums to make it to the end. They're going to be nice and worn by the end of the race. We should see these guys come to pits now, as Harass is going to lose out to OP now under DRS. So OP and Magic now splitting the Mercedes. So Harass looks like he's struggling on those old softs. OP Magic's got some mega pace. Looks like he's still got plenty of speed left in that Haas on the tyres. So that's important for OP Magic. He's now well and truly in that fight for the podium. Important for his championship long term as well, but good to see him fighting up through the field. It'll be interesting to see if he decides to come in the pits this lap. Same with Dre and Harass. Of course, those two can't really pit the same lap. I'm not sure if they communicate with each other. Let's hope they don't pit the same lap, because that could screw up their races slightly.
That could be a disaster for Harass if he does make the stop. We'll see now.
Dre's in.
Dre does come in, and Magic and Harass staying out, but this will be critical now to see where Texas does come through. He's coming around about turn 9 now.
Yep, getting past Misty. Yep. Has to run a bit wide there to avoid making any sort of contact.
Clean stop. Coming down the pit lane.
Oh, Kevin's got an easy, I reckon. Actually, it's going to be close.
It's going to be really tight. I think he's just got him though on the exit.
Oh yeah, the auto speed on the outside there. Not sure why I said easy, it was never easy. But Curbing Texas has got the gap. As we see, Reaper, Hawks and Kickbutt having an almighty battle still up ahead. But that's important for Curbing Texas, that is effectively P1. Although we do know what Dre's pace is like, so that race is still going. We see Hawks going down the inside of Grim Reaper on those old softs, so those softs are definitely past their prime. It'll be interesting to see how far Harass loses out. With Banana and Blocky Rex already pitting on the fresh tyres. So they should have the gap to come out in front, and it might help them a bit further down in the race. It looks like no, OP's going to stay out again. Harass is in the pits. So this is puzzling now for OP Magic. He must feel fantastic on those tyres because they are definitely past their prime.
I was going to say, he's just put 6/10 into Harass that last lap, so he is really pushing, really wants this win today. We'll see how he goes. Obviously, Texas and Dre on those new set of mediums, as Grim Reaper now makes a stop coming in. But yeah, we'll see where OP Magic comes out.
Oh, Harass is going to come out in traffic. He's come out right between Banana and Blocky. And Blocky's actually going to get him here, so not great there for Harass. He's come out in traffic, whereas his teammate Dre managed to get ahead of Banana and Blocky, so that's really massive actually. Harass needs to clear these guys as soon as possible. But yeah, Banana Pie and Blocky getting a big undercut there. We saw those two were 4 or 5 seconds behind, as they're actually going to have to fight themselves actually. Blocky looking around the outside of Banana, he's not going to get that stuck. And Harass is going to have to stick behind these guys and lose more time.
They could go too wide here.
Or run ball with Harass here. We've got the best seat in the house. Banana's going to drift out wide, and we've just left the cars with, well, barely. They're going to go wide again. They've made a little bit of contact. That might open the door for Harass, as OP does come in the pits now. We'll keep an eye on that. But Harass is going to go down the inside of Blocky here. Giving him a bit of a squeeze and entry there, but Harass has got that move stuck, and now Harass must get past Banana Cake Pie this lap.
Nice and quick stop there from OP. But he has dropped quite a bit of time to Texas and Dre. Wow.
Yep, Harass has that move done.
4 seconds. Harass hasn't quite pipped him, but that was probably because of that midfield battle that he was having with Rex and Banana Cake Pie. But yeah, OP, obviously 2 lap fresher tyres, but we'll wait and see. He's got a 5-second gap to Dre.
Yeah, he's lost out a bit there. We saw those guys pit 2-3 laps earlier, and on those fresh tyres they've managed to pull away. Yeah, between the pit stops, that's probably really the only time to get any sort of gap on your rivals who are lapping similarly to you, just because of the way the track is. So we see OP Magic losing out there. The one benefit for him will be fresher tyres at the end of the race. So OP Magic, he's going to have to push now, but I mean, a 5-second gap is far from ideal when he was right there before the stops. You see Kirby and G-Force Dre actually starting to catch up to Kickbutt, Kiwi and Hawks, who've inherited top 2 positions on those starting mediums. So Kirby again is going to want to have to get past these guys quickly, because OP Magic will be coming from behind. He's not going to quite get the job done. You were mentioning a bit earlier about the safety car helping these medium starters out. If we get a safety car in about 4 or 5 laps time, then Hawks and Kickbutt Kiwi are in prime position to capitalise.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just actually having a look at the race director at the current penalties as Hawks locks up there into turn.
Ooh, bit of contact.
4. But yeah, no penalties currently for Kirby Texas and Dre. OP does have 1 3-second penalty So yeah, these guys, as you said before the race, this is going to come down to keeping it clean on the track as well with the penalties. Even if you don't have the track position, obviously track on the track here isn't the easiest to keep it in for 36 laps. So we'll wait and see what happens at the end.
Yeah, you're absolutely spot on. So that's important for the guys who've kept it clean so far, and they're going to have to keep it that way, particularly with the pace being so similar. Just in that lap, we saw Curb and Texas have to work pretty hard actually to get past Kick Butt, and Dre's now got the next job there. But you see Open Magic, he's dropped that gap from 6 to 4.7. So Open Magic's already starting to close in again. This slower traffic ahead of Curbing and Dre is not going to help him. So Open Magic is looking like he's got some good pace now. Harass has dropped out of DRS behind him as well, so it looks like Harass hasn't quite got the pace to match it. But he's sitting in a pretty comfortable P4 effectively at the moment. So Mercedes doing well as a team, but Open Magic is not done with this race yet. That gap is coming down. You see GeForce Dre still stuck behind Kickbutt Kiwi. Hawks and Kickbutt Kiwi, their pace is actually still pretty good. It's not like they're holding them up too much, but on the fresh tyres you'd expect Curbing and Dre to have a lot more natural pace. We'll have to see if Dre can get it done, as we see pretty much all four of them picking up at least a warning. In those last couple of corners there, Hawks picked up 3 seconds. Dre might try and line up Kickbutt Kiwi out of turn 1 and have a dive at the hairpin. 2/10 gap, you can get the exit. He picks up a time penalty for his trouble, so that's important there. You were just mentioning penalties. That could really
that's Dre's first penalty. Obviously Texas still clean as he makes the move down the inside here of Kiwi. Crucial that he does that because Texas is on the back of Hawks now actually as we go down the straight towards turn 4. He's going to go right down the inside on the brakes and he should get that move done easily. No fighting from Hawks. He knows he's not really racing him for position. Yeah.
Good job there from Curbing. As Dre did get past Kickbutt Kiwi a lot quicker than Curbing Texas did, but importantly for Curbing, he's now got a slow car between him and Dre. So we should see Hawks in the pits the next 2 laps, but this is Curbing's chance to really go for it now and try and get a bit of a gap. Even though he does have the penalty advantage at the moment, there's still 16 laps to go, so plenty of time to run wide at the corner. But Curbing Texas, now's the time to go for it. Dre is going to have to push past Hawks now as quickly as possible. Hawks still doing very well in terms of pace. Kickbutt Kiwi gets a penalty, so all these top guys now get penalties. As soon as we said we check in, they've all decided to rack them up at the same time. As we see, Dre will dive down the inside. That should be a pretty comfortable move, considering the 20 lap old tyres that Hawks is wearing on his car.
Yeah, so obviously about 15 laps down left in this race, and it currently looks like the battle for the lead is only between Texas and Dre, but I wouldn't rule out Open Magic. He's still got heaps of pace down in P5, with Harass following him closely. But yeah, obviously we're going to see Hawks and Kickbutt Kiwi make their pit stops in the next couple of laps, and then that will move them down probably somewhere around 13th place, I'd say. So yeah, we'll just wait and see. Here we go, as Hawks actually comes in now to the pits. It's 20 laps now done with his tyres. Kiwi follows him in, so we'll see where they come out in the order.
You were reading my mind there. I've literally just put up the gap to leader to have a look myself, and you've called it perfectly, and they've now both come to the pits. So yeah, it should probably be just outside the points, but they will have quick tyres. As we see the Rock coming in as well, he's decided to stop it, which is far from ideal, but he'll probably put on another set of mediums to go to the end now. Hawks and Kickbutt Kiwi looks like they'll come out P11 and 12, so possibly a tad higher than we thought. Actually, they might drop to Misty.
Rex and Banana going side by side in turn 3. They've left each other enough room just about. But it looks like Banana will have the DRS down to turn 4. He goes right and left. Round the outside, is Rex going to defend it? He sticks the nose in a bit, but doesn't quite get enough. And Banana Cake will take that position for now.
Yep, Lockie did his best there. Banana's actually doing a pretty good job on the mediums, on the hards as opposed to Lockie's mediums. So Banana Cake Pike's on a good pace. He's only 5 seconds off the lights and Harass. So first mediums drop off, Banana could be quick towards the end of the race. But those two very similar on pace and quality, but Banana doing well on the harder compounded tyres. Those hards go forever around here. Blocky will be quite frustrated. He can't capitalise on his freshness off the tyres. so not great there for Blocky, but they've been dogging most of the race.
I'll just cut you off there. Dre makes a dive down the inside for the lead. It's not quite going to get the move done. Texas goes a bit wide, but he hangs it in there. Now right on board as we go down to turn 4, and is he going to fake right? He does, but he doesn't quite commit to the move. Not quite enough room. Yeah. So Texas will keep in his position for this lap, but look, Dre is definitely closing up. Only 4/10.
Yeah, you can see him really pushing, using all of that overtake. Curbing Texas has a similar amount. We saw Curbing Texas go great traction around the outside. Dre was short shifting quite aggressively, but Curbing Texas looks like he's got that covered on the exit of the hairpin, so it'll be under brakes. I think that Dre has to make that move. We've got some yellows. That looks like the rock on his outlap. He's gone round. So it's now a Ferrari P18 and 19, so a miserable day there for the red outfit. He's not going to have his teammate right next to him. I think he missed, I think Green used a lap down though, so not a good day for Ferrari there in terms of the constructors. We'll have to divert our attention back to the front though, where Dre is closing on Texas. He's got a mega run here. Can he cook it under brakes? He's going to go for it. Or is there a wheel-to-wheel contact? Yeah, that was Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen-esque, but once again, Curbing Texas with great traction around the outside. So it looks like Curbing's got that covered there at least. So Dre is going to have to get a better run out of turn 1, I think, to get a bit further ahead by the braking zone, because he needs to really squeeze Curbing out. Curbing looks like he's got him covered. We see Blocky getting past Banana as well there, but I'm sure that fight's not over. In terms of battles throughout the field, they're probably the main ones. We might give the guys at the back a little bit of love for a little bit though. I've got Kuda having a pretty poor race for his standards. He's down in P14 with Edmund making a move down under DRS. Give these back guys a bit of screen time. Good to try and cover as many drivers as possible, so Edmund will get that move done. For P14, possibility of points still if some things fall their way.
Kuda actually does it back up the inside going to turn 5, but Edmund's going to hang it around the outside, is he? Not quite. Bit of contact made.
This is a great little fight
just
actually.
Take the position, yeah. Although he's hanging in there. No, he's going to concede for now, but yeah, not a great race. Kuda's actually coming in now. He'll be going to the softs until the end, but
back up the front. Sorry, Jay has managed to get past Curbing Texas on the straight, so he did get a bit of run alongside. We just flipped to the end of that. But Dre now in P1, so Curbing Texas, now it's his turn to follow behind. So this is the first time really this race Dre's had clear air in front, so we see him run a bit wide there actually, Dre. So it'll be interesting to see whether Dre starts to pull Curbing away from OP a bit more. That gap is now 3 seconds from Curbing to OP, so OP's still going to have to push hard, but with Dre ahead of Curbing now, we might see the pace of these two rocket up a little bit further. Dre looks like he's got a little bit more raw pace at the moment. Curbing Texas, if he can stick with DRS, then anything can really happen. But important for Dre to get that move done there. He's done well.
Yeah, it's key here that he gets a good exit out of turn 1 and keeps in that DRS range, because Dre will probably drive away with this one if he can't keep him under pressure and make a move, and he will probably drop back towards OP. But this is critical for Dre's fight in the championship. Obviously 10 points ahead of OP. This will put him another at least 10 points, possibly a little bit less than that if OP can get second place. But yeah, it doesn't seem to be closing the gap much at the moment, still around that 3-second mark to Curbing Texas.
Yeah, important for Dre and OP, particularly with the next two in the championship being Kuda and Kickbutt Kiwi, both currently out of the points. So if these two can hang on to these positions, they're really going to stretch away in the championship. F1 Hawk set a couple of fastest laps from fresh softs as well, so he's shown some good pace, but down in P17, not very useful there. Championship fight. So Dre, since he's managed to get past Curbing hasn't really had a look at him. So Dre is important, and he's clicking the important bits, which is really going to help his overall race if Curbing can't get a good look at him. We did see Dre run a bit wide out of turn 1 there. He did on the previous lap too. That would have been a warning at least. So I reckon in a couple of laps we'll have another look at those penalties, because now I think most of these top guys have one. We know Curbing's still clean though, so that is one thing that does play in Curbing Texas's favour.
Yeah, back in 8th place here. Looks like Hawks has a run on Conrod. He doesn't have DRS on the soft tyre. Easily makes the move down the inside. No challenge there. He's going a bit deep though, locked up, but he should be fine. Keep that position.
Oh, as Conrad gets a bit loose in the power there, that might open the door for Joggles. Conrad on 21 lap hold hards. We haven't mentioned Conrad as well too much. We saw Conrad and Harass the battle for the lead there, so Conrad had race winning pace. So it would have been fascinating to see if he would have been able to string onto the back of that leading train there, but he's still side by side with Joggles here, fighting for some minor points. But yeah, we've kind of forgotten a bit about Conrad in all the actions that's happened before, so he will be quite frustrated, I think, possibly, yeah, not getting the podium that he could have had, but on those 21 lap old hards, it might even be worth him chucking on a set of softs and pushing it, although it might drop, or will drop him out of the points. But yeah, Conrad he's had a race to forget. As we see Joggles, he's now got Hawks ahead of him, who is rapidly closing on Rapsy, who in turn is caught up to Banake Pine Blocky, so it looks like the Blocky train's formed. So we'll have to keep an eye on that little battle as well. That's for some mid points, which could be quite important for these guys' championships sitting around the middle of the table. Whoever comes out on top here can get a significant game on their team, on their rivals. So this is also an important battle.
Yeah, I'm just noticing at the front, Texas still not being able to get back up. As the Rock has retired, is that on track?
I think I see a red dot in the pit lane. Yeah, so that won't bring out a yellow or bring out a Loki but not a stage car virtual. We haven't seen any of those yet, which is good, I guess. We see kind of a pure race, see the strategies play out properly. But yes, that's unfortunate for the Rock. Not had a great race. His teammate also not having the best of races. Ferrari will score no points this week. Watch cars just coming out of the pits again, but I believe it should go out of the way, so it shouldn't affect the drivers. As you see, there's really train of 4 here again. Looks like Hawks has got some mega pace in those special softs. He's going to have a look at Ramsey. He's going to try and kind of force his way around the outside. Later on the brakes, can he get the move done? No, Ramsey goes later. Oh, he gives Banana a tap.
Contact. Yep.
Yeah, Hawks should get the power down a bit quicker. Oh, Scooter's retired.
Really traction on those softs.
Oh, that's in the pits as well.
So he's going to hang around the outside. He does. There's a bit of contact made side by side, but...
Oh, we're 3 wide behind him as well, sorry. I just accidentally flicked back. Oh, they've taken each other.
Reaper's in the gravel, and he spun.
Joggles is round.
This might bring... This is yellow flag. I don't think we'll see anything more than that, but... Yeah, he's dropped right out of that battle now, Joggles.
Yeah, I dropped down instead of up on the driver select there, and I just caught the end of that. They were going nearly 3 wide into turn 4, and it's ended in disaster for Joggles. Conrad, I think it was alongside him, and his teammate Greeper. So Joggles losing out there.
Here on Ramsey now from P7. It doesn't look like Ramsey might be using that.
I reckon they've both taken a warning there. Ramsey's cutting, Hawks have gone wide, but that's going to cost Hawks a run. And this has allowed a little bit of a gap for Banana, but look at Ramsey's straight line speed, that's incredible. We must be running some really low wings. Hawks can't quite get close enough for a fight there. So lots of action still, 30 laps into this race, only 6 to go. Plenty still to fight for.
Texas looking a little bit closer. He's closed that gap by 1 or 2 tenths to Dre, possibly pushing last few laps then, maybe saving the tyres in that.
Oh, he gets very, very loose.
Nearly lost it there.
Yeah, so Kevin Texas looking like he's starting to push. Speaking of pushing, OP Magic's push looks like it's come to a bit of a halt. That gap's leveled at 3 seconds. So OP Magic looks like he can't quite catch up to these top 2 at the moment. We saw him in the first stint, looked absolutely rapid, but on those mediums he looks a bit less comfortable. So OP Magic might be destined for 3rd at the end of all this. Harass is kind of sitting a lonely race now in P4. Didn't quite have the pace of his teammate in curving, but he's well clear of Blocky. He's got Banana, Ramsey and Hawks still right behind. Looks like Ramsey might come under threat from Hawks. Ramsey gets a poor run through turn 1 and Hawks is going to be alongside. Ramsey's going to squeeze him off. You need to leave Carwitz there, son. He's barely done that, but Hawks will get the move done. Ramsey won't have anything to fight with, so Hawks will move up into P7. So if Hawks get to P5, which is likely on those soft tyres, I think that would be a phenomenal race. Starting from outside the 10 and going the ultimate strat. So Hawks is, really giving us a decent shout for drive today, I reckon.
Yeah, definitely. Still making moves. I mean, he's going to close up to Banana Cake Pie and Blocky soon enough. Within a second now. Banana Cake Pie was in those 18-lap old hards. Same for Blocky in the 17-lap old medium. So look, Hawks definitely has a lot more pace than those two. and we can see him close right up in the next couple of laps, just before the end. Banana kick pie picks up another penalty.
Oh, yeah, he's had a poor run through there as Banana, and that's going to give Hawks an invitation to make a move possibly. Banana kick pie is doing quite well still in the hards, although Blocky's mediums will now be screaming a bit. 18 laps old, but looks like Hawks has got a decent run. Although Banana's got a good run as well. We might see Banana launch it down the inside. Blocky's going to cover him off slightly, but Banana will try and dive it still. What can Hawks do in all this? We're on board with him. He's got the best seat in the house for it.
Hawks waiting to pick up the scraps of this little fight for P5. I think he's just playing his time here. Banana seems for the move done now. Down to turn 4, but yeah, look, Hawks, those tyres start to drop off in a few laps, but I think we should have it to the end.
Yeah, he probably doesn't want to get involved in a three-way fight here. We've got some yellows. That looks like a Williams. Looks like Grim might have just gone round. He was sitting right next to his teammate. I wonder if there's something broken down at Williams there. But we can't devote too much attention to that. Looks like Keep Up Kiwi's actually on the back of Ramsey as well. So Keep Up Kiwi on the same strategy as Hawks. So Ramsey's starting to get swallowed up a bit, as the rest of them are, as Hawks has got a mega run as well. So 2 fights here. They've got the lapped car of Greedy just in front there, so hopefully Greedy gets out of the way. Blocky will cut the corner and get a penalty for it. As it looks like a Williams is coming into the pits.
Hawks with a quick run here on Blocky. He's also got a bit of a run on Banana, he's gone for the late switch down the inside. Great move, but Blocky actually managed to keep the traction there so quite nicely, and keeps that position for now. He's got a bit of a run on Banana, but not quite close enough.
Yeah, it looks like around the outside we've got some good lines. You see Lewis Hamilton in real life, he always takes a wide line through turn 3 to get that power down. So it's really driver's preference, but it's really looked like the way to go. Around the outside looks like the right way to go. As we've seen, Misty and Conrod swapping over. Report in the comment section, Conrad lost back end and hit Grim apparently. So it sounds like those Williams did make a bit of contact there. Speaking of contact, Hawks and Blocky have managed to avoid it going side by side in a place where you don't normally. And Hawks will be off in P6 now, so that's absolutely phenomenal from Hawks. So Hawks doing really well, and then Kickbutt Kiwi as well in P8 on those tyres. Looks like
seems Conrod's gone around again. Oh, he's got a puncture actually.
Oh really?
Puncture. I don't know what's happened here.
Oh, 27 lap old hards. That would be why those tyres were cooked. He hit lap 4. Remember?
Oh, exactly. So he's put them on from really early on, and hasn't quite made it to the end. He's had to limp that back home to the pits. He might retire here. Wait and see.
Yeah.
Unlucky from Conrad.
It's a real what-if race, isn't it? I mean, he had some phenomenal pace at the start there, obviously in the lead of the race. Hawks is going to go inside the Banana Cake Pie now. Banana Cake Pie will hold around the outside. Does very well there, Hawks getting a bit pinched on the curb there. So looks like the outside, as I just mentioned, is the way to go in these moves. Just get the power down. Banana Cake Pie on those hard tyres still doing quite well. Looks like it might be just a matter of time though before Hawks gets a move done, although he's going to have to be quick because the lead drivers are now on the penultimate lap, so there's 2 laps left to go. Banana Cake Pie, if he can hang on to this position, it'd be great. Up the front, meanwhile, we should probably mention that Dre in Curving Texas, 2.6 seconds. We know that Dre's got a 3-second time penalty. Did you want to quickly check the penalty status for the top 3, because OP Magic's caught curving as well, as Hawks is going to go around the outside of Banana Cake Pie.
So curving doesn't have a penalty, so he will currently take the win if he can keep that under 3 second gap.
It's 2.9. It's going to be close.
Yeah, this is going to be close. Dre with only the 1 penalty. OP does have 1 penalty as well, and Harass has not even a single warning. So yeah, look, Harass will also. No, he's actually 6 seconds back. Never mind. OP is closing right up to Texas here.
Wow.
Oh yeah, he's
got a puncture as well. Has he? Oh, he does. Front left. Wow, after 20 laps of mediums.
He's going to try and hang on here for the last lap.
Well, he has to, I think.
Really crucial.
Wow. So it's like 20 laps on those
hold on to
mediums.
P3, sorry, but
no, I reckon he could drop behind Kickbutt even. I think the gap 28 seconds with that puncture in that middle sector, that's going to really hurt. So that's massive. That explains the drop off. So his tyres must be in the 80s or 90s at least then. We need to watch out for Dre then, who's on the same age tyres almost, just 1 lap newer. And Blocky Rex as well, actually. He's got 22 lap old mediums, as does Ramsey, so they're going to have to watch out too. But Curving Texas with a puncture, that is absolute scenes here. So that's going to let Dre probably take the win here.
Harass coming up now to Texas. Absolute sitting duck through the middle sector.
Yeah.
In fact, we've got another yellow. That might have been Grim Reaper. Oh no, sorry.
Not sure. I think there was a slow Racing Point and a slow Williams there. It's like Harass is going to get the move.
About to make the move. Yep, he does. In fact, Texas is in the grass.
Oh, Texas, he might just hang on to fourth here, which wouldn't be the worst result. But Dre and OP Magic, we've missed that slightly. They're going to come home P1 and 2. Harass will come across the line. Mr. Clean, as always, in P3. Curving Texas will hold on to P4 after possibly being able to take that win. We saw him in about 2.7 seconds before getting that puncture, so absolute scenes. But Curving Texas will take P4. Banana, Blocky, Hawks
drops. 7.
Yeah, so
penalties.
Banana and Blocky managing to stay there with penalties. You saw both of them did have penalties. Wow, so Hawks has had a couple, and Kickbutt Kiwi will take 9th. So Hawks and Kickbutt Kiwi on the alternate. They've lost a few positions at the end there on penalties. Grim Reaper will take the final point.
Yeah, Jump struggles there for 10th place with penalties again, so really playing a crucial part to finish this race. But yeah, wow, what an exciting finish. Curving Texas with the puncture. I have to say, Dre and Blocky can't have been far off either. 21 lap and 23 lap old mediums.
Yeah, Ramsey as well.
Yeah, what an epic race spot.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. We saw fighting up and down the field throughout, so that was a good race to watch. Hawks gets driver of the day. We did mention he and Kickbutt were in contention on that alternate strat. I think the game gives that to whoever makes up the most positions, so Hawks has done very well there. But it will be the Mercedes of Dre, our championship leader. He will extend his lead up the top ahead of OP Magic, who pulled in a good race after starting a bit further down in quali than we might have expected. Showed fantastic pace, particularly in that first stint, but didn't quite have the answer for Dre on those medium tyres. And then harassing the other Mercedes, taking P3. So Mercedes doing very well in the constructors there, will extend that lead as well. Curving Texas would be quite disappointed though. He would have felt like he should have been on that podium.
Really poor race as well from Kuda. Obviously he's P3 in the championship right now and didn't even finish the race. Did take the fastest lap point away from anyone in the top 10, but yeah, down in 18th. DNF, not a great day for Kuda at all.
Not at all. As we just run through the grid quickly here, it will be Dre, OP and Harass on the podium. Well done to those guys. Curving Texas will end up P4. He's lucky to not drop a bit further back, but he'll be feeling a bit stiff on that puncture there. Didn't even have the oldest tyres. Banana Cake Pie, solid job there, going soft hard. P5 holding off Blocky for pretty much the entire race. Ramsey was there and thereabouts. Hawks on the alternate strat did very well from 18th place. I didn't realise he was that far back. So he's gained 10 positions, which is fantastic. And then Kickbutt and Grim will take the final points. We'll just get the full leaderboard there for the results. Joggles, Misty, F1 Hawk, Jaconomo. And it was Edmund, Conrad, Greedy, Kuda and The Rock, the last two guys not finishing the race. So that has been that race. What a crazy race.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, really crazy. Thanks for all the viewers in chat. I think we got about 10 or 11 in the end, but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. That was some great racing from our Tier 2 F1 series.
Yeah, these guys put on a real show. You know they've done okay when they put in a cracking qualifying session as well. Really enjoyed watching that. And then the race did not disappoint as well. We saw battling throughout the field for the entirety of the race. That's the kind of stuff we love to see, not just here at Race Spec, but just online in general. So superb job there from our drivers, and thank you so much for our viewers tuning in. You can catch these guys same time, same place next week. I'll just check what race it is. I believe it might be
at
Britain.
Yeah,
Britain.
So that will be a cracker. Probably one of the best tracks on the calendar. Heaps of overtaking opportunities. So yeah, same time next Tuesday night.
Yep. It's a favourite track for a lot of these drivers. That will be a cracker of a race, so make sure you tune into that. We've got Tier 3 was an hour and a half before this, and then Tier 1, 4 and 5 run at the same time as Tier 2, so if you want to check out any of that action, go suss out the Race Spec YouTube channel as well as these guys' previous races. They will all be on the YouTube as well. And hopefully we've got Smeggy back next week to take everyone through this tier again. But yeah, I really enjoyed that one. That was a crack of a race, and really glad I got the chance to commentate it. I'll give a special shout out to my co-commentator TriKid, doing comms for the first time. Absolutely nailed it like a boss. let's hope we see him around the place doing a bit more commentary for Race Spec. He's done a fantastic job. Well done, mate.
Cheers, Bodhod. No, it was great race, great first race to commentate. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, thanks for co-commentating, and thanks again to all the viewers for tuning in. Was a really good one. I'll definitely be back next week. Probably catch us in Tier 4, I'm assuming.
Yep. It makes it easy to commentate when these guys put on a show. But yeah, we will be around. But we might call it quits there for now. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a great evening, everybody. We'll see you next week for Great Britain. Good night.